Fabulous. So, again, welcome everybody. Katerina and I are back at it. We're gonna have a little chat and talk about these fun energies that are going on after the solstice, huh?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. Thanks for joining us. It's the 23rd of December 2020 in South Australia right now. So you are 22. So you're just coming the day after all of the excitement, right?
Oh, tell me a little bit about like what did you have anything special that day? You said you were having meetings.
Yeah, I got together with a group of people. You know, I had even like my tribe was there that consists of you know, some people from America and Canada, and we all got together at 8 o'clock Adelaide time in the morning, and we did a meditation. It was very nice, and we just hang out together for a little bit. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good. We had a big event at my place on Sunday, which it was awesome. Really great turnout. Everybody's feeling the stuff. You know, some people are a little nervous still about what's going on here, as well as globally. But we really had a great vibe. A lot of people are getting it. More people waking up day after day after day. More people are waking up. So again, this energy, I just feel like such an opening in the heart space, like more than ever. I'm like walking around and just, you know, just radiating it. It's so good. It is. But during the day yesterday, just hung at home, very quiet, just did some fun stuff here. A lot of meditating and just hanging out and enjoying Christmas. So.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling very calm, very centered, very grounded.
Yeah.
Yesterday, me and my group got together again, and I got to experience a bigger version of Archangel Gabriel, and it was very heart-centered stuff. So it's like my highest self is like his throne to sit on. That's the word we use, the throne. And I got to visualize it yesterday. It was absolutely beautiful. Like I know that Archangel Gabriel is you know, huge in his energy and what he means, but yesterday I think I experienced the enormity of how I'm connected, because we went up another notch to 9 out of 12, so I've got a 9th of him now. So yesterday I had that experience of his enormity, his strength, his courage, his, you know, his power, you know, very much unwavering of self-love and self-worth. Like, you know, my two boys, I call them my two boys, Gabriel and Zorian, are very much they just know who they are. You know, they know who they are, they know their strength, they know what they're capable. They'll just walk into a room and demand attention, you know, that sort of thing. And I just love the feeling that they have given me for that. So I feel stronger. I feel more open-hearted. I actually feel like I've got broad shoulders now. Like I actually feel like my shoulders are gone back. With the integration with Zorian, which is my masculine divine twin flame, it feels like my chest has popped out a little bit because they've integrated his they've integrated his heart next to mine, so his pink heart next to my blue heart, you know, and we're connected. But I'm feeling really calm. I'm feeling that we're going to be okay, that everyone's going to be okay. Yeah, I feel that what happened the other day was it was just an energetic door that was open, that was due to open, and we've been working towards it for many eons and many years, and all the forerunners that had cleared the path right in the beginning. So I want to thank them as well. You know, all those people that went on YouTube years ago and spoke about this stuff and really put themselves out there and let people know what was going on. So I really want to I feel very grateful, and I want to thank them for what they've done and how they've done it. I used to follow some people, and they were really brave, and they were letting the world know, you know, what was ahead, what we had to do and stuff like that. So it was very inspirational for me to get to where I am today. So the opening the other day is for you to realize how far you've come and how much work you've done, and to be grateful and be thankful for everything that was behind you, that cleared the path, that made the path, that suffered a lot, that struggled a lot, that went on, you know, on the media and told the world what was going on and were laughed at and all that type of stuff. So I'm very grateful for these people. And so the other day, it's really all about entering a new paradigm of energy that, you know, just like you walk through a new door, it's like creating a new home. You know, it's creating a new space for yourself. So I feel very calm, I feel very grounded, and I know that I've embodied 5D. So 5D is really all about knowing oneself. It's not external, it's not another planet, it's not any of those things. It's dimensional, of course, but you learn to understand that you're multi-layered and you're multi-dimensional. And with my integrations with Zorian and Archangel Gabriel, I've looked into the eyes of my own universe, and you're truly loved when you do that. I have never felt this way in my entire life. It's beautiful. It's heartwarming. It's like you're being cradled all the time. The universe is just opening up for me. So manifestation. And this is what we want, isn't it, Laurie? To let everybody know who's listening today that you are able to achieve this. This is what the new door is all about. It's giving you the opportunity to finally wake up into, you're sitting in your mud, and that's what you're waking up to. And now the challenge is to sit in the mud, learn how it feels, taste it, feel it, embody it, and learn that it's all about you. And then you let it go, you let your fears go, and then you will come into a space of you just realize you fell in love with yourself, and that's what it's all about.
It is what it's all about. Absolutely. I mean, and like you were saying, thanking all the people that came before, they opened that pathway so that the pathway's wider. You know, they had the machete going down the path in the jungle, and now we can walk side by side going down this path. And the more people that go down there, the wider and wider and easier the terrain gets. And I just feel like the wind's at our back now. It may not look like it yet, you know, just like a season turns, but the weather doesn't turn yet. It's like that, you know. We're birthing a new reality. We are the midwives of this new reality, and it's like, what do we want to see? We're birthing this new earth, and birth, as we all know, can be painful, it can be difficult, it can be harrowing, but it's also the most beautiful thing that anyone can go through, whether you're a man or a woman, and whether it's figurative or literal.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, Laurie, because I haven't physically given birth, but
me neither. Not in this life. Not in this life.
Not in this life, right? But I have lived. But I understand it, because just before the 21st, you know, I felt I was pregnant. I actually sat down and went, please, now, please, it's getting too heavy now, you know, that sort of thing. So
yeah. That's absolutely, I mean, so in our solstice event on Sunday, what was really cool is that, you know, everybody's guides are there. We had over 20 people, and everybody's guides are there. and everyone's in there, and it was so crowded, you know, but in a beautiful way. And we all did this 0 point calibration, not just the guides, but all of the incarnations of who we've been, all of the ancestors. And they were just lined up around us, behind us, just on into infinity. And they're like, you're the reason that this all started, because here you are now walking into this new age that we're doing that 0 point calibration. We're clearing for all of those incarnations and all of those cycles where we didn't have our power. This is about us taking our sovereign power. And,
Yes.
you know, it's going to get louder. It's going to, you know, every time we think we're getting close, the time gets a little further away, but that's okay, because it really isn't. That's just the way it looks like. And it's going to get louder, and the threats are going to get louder, and they're going to get even more of the liberties are going to be threatened to be taken away. That's what's happening here. And the more they yell, the more they scream, the louder they get, they've lost their power, and they know it. The louder they are, they don't have to scream and yell if they have the power. We have all the power. And this is the time where everybody in this country is now beginning to wake up and stand up. And we're going to stand up for our rights in 3D, in 5D, our rights to be sovereign beings, which was always there. We just forgot. And so what we're seeing play out in the political arena is all of these states and their legislatures that they don't even know what their power is. They've given their powers away, and they're learning all about their constitutions and about our constitution. And they're learning to take their power back. And so it's like happening on that broader perspective. And everybody needs to take their personal power back, and they need to take their sovereign spiritual power back, because we've given that away. We've given it away for so long.
Yes. Well,
so yeah, that 0 point calibration just brought it all home. It was beautiful.
Sure. Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
From where I'm sitting, so I'm in Adelaide, South Australia. So there's things happening over here in Australia, you know, some lockdowns in Sydney going on Christmas time, all this type of stuff. So yes, it's all kind of happening here as well. But
yeah.
Now, what from where I'm sitting, from what I understand, remember this is my interpretation. We talk about getting our power back. We always had our power, but in a 3D perspective, though, we never had it. That's the shock.
It was like, here you go. Tell me what to do. Tell me where to go. And we've always done that. Not now.
Yes, because it was just the conditioning of the consciousness, right? Yeah. And so, you know, so from my experience of retrieving my self-worth and my self-love and empowerment and all this, I've just learned that, you know, I thought I had it, but no, you don't have it. You don't have it, because when you're born, it gets scattered into the universe, like what I call we are the bag, and we've got our marbles in our bag, and the bag breaks in half, which is the twin flame, whatever that part is, and then the other parts of you go into the universe. So then this is how I visualize it, and this is how it helps my clients or the people that listen to me understand about how it kind of happened. And so so when you do retrieve your self-empowerment, the energy shifts. It makes you, like, for me, it's like no one can ever break that away from me, even before another life or another time and place, another planet, whatever. It will never be broken away from me ever again. That's how I feel. So keep going. I mean, you know, the other day when we all talked about, you know, the doors opening, the new paradigm, the new Aquarians energy, yes, we've come into that space, but not everybody will feel it. And not everybody will understand. You know, I've seen questions like, well, what does that really mean? You know, they use dates and stuff. What it just simply means is that you have a wider of your energy has expanded, even though you don't know about that yet or know, to the point where you can go and go into your universe and retrieve the parts of you that were detached from you. So now it's more fluid, it's more flowy, it's more much more ease and grace. There's most of the hurdles and the obstacles that were there right from the beginning. You know, you're right, Laurie, we had to go in there with our machetes and our guns and chop it all down. I mean, I used to have, you know, gosh, 10, 12 years ago, I used to have visions of me flying through tunnels of darkness and suddenly that lights up, you know, that kind of thing. So what I would like everyone to know is that calm down and understand that it's a personal process. If you've done the work, if you're doing the inner work, then it'll be more ease and grace, and you'll have solutions and a better understanding about what you need to do and so on. But if you don't do the work, yes, it's gonna feel like shit, literally.
And too, everything that we're seeing in the outside world, people are afraid of, you know, mandatory this, that, whatever. And again, it's all bluster. They've got no power. They've got nothing. And when we, the people, all stand up, not just in this country, but all over the world, and they are, I mean, you're seeing it. I'm seeing it in every country. We're standing up and we're saying, this is our earth now. You have had this earth for a long time and took it away from us. And thank you for the lesson, because boy, did we learn about standing in our sovereign power. And more people waking up to that. Different pieces and parts to it. We'll all step into it the way that we're meant to and when we're meant to. But it's going to be a really rapid awakening for a lot of people in a lot of ways. And again, that's why we're here. But learning that sovereignty, it's like nobody can do anything to me that I don't allow. And if they do, they'll have to kill me first. And I'm okay with that. So
yeah, well, you know, I don't want to die. So
because we have stuff to do, but you know what? When you're not afraid of it, then you're absolutely sovereign, because it's just a transition state. It won't happen though. That's not going to happen. We're going to have 7 billion people standing together.
Well, I think that's already happening in some ways. I mean, there's always going to be the groups of people that are not going to see it or feel it. That's just how it is in the 3D world.
Yeah.
We're always going to have that 3D part. Like 3D is not going to disappear.
No.
But
we're going to have the bird's eye view of it from the higher.
Yeah, well, yes, that's right. So it all depends on, you know, where you are energetically and physically, and being sovereign, a sovereign being, you know, what does that mean? That just simply means that you have a better understanding about yourself, and you know that you're not going to allow anybody else to make you feel limited and lack of anymore. That sovereign being, and also walking your talk.
That's a huge thing. That is very huge, because some people are still very afraid of that. And now they're going to have a little bit more leeway to step into.
Yeah. Because they have, you know, I always say to those who listen to me is that you be the example to everybody around you. So if you speak your truth, you know, take that big breath, calm your hearts down, and show that you are able to do it without fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and those who watch you will go, oh, wow, look at that. I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. And then they'll ask you, how did you do that? And you have to be honest about how you did that. Yeah, I sat in my mud for 12 years and learned how to, you know, shift and change everything about myself so I don't have the fear to speak my truth, because there's always going to be somebody who's going to tell you not to speak your truth. That's the 3D world, right? But the sovereign part of it is that you feel within yourself that doesn't matter what they say, they can't take it away from you.
No, and that doesn't make you feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you know, it used to be like, oh, what do I feel about myself? What is everyone saying? Who cares? Because you know what they say about you has nothing to do with you. And I think we learn that as we get older, and we're learning that now. Some people never will. That's okay. But yeah, when you don't care about anything like that, when it's all about your truth and what you're here to do. We're all discovering, and it's really exciting seeing people discovering new talents. Like, oh, I got laid off from my job because of blah, 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 whatever. Or, oh, I just got divorced, or, you know, and at first it's a calamity, and then these beautiful things come out of it. A woman came to see me today that, oh, she's been through all of these tragedies, lost children and getting divorced and was abused, all this stuff. She discovered she's an artist. And she was showing me these paintings that I'm like,
beautiful.
how excited are you when you were doing these? And she's like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. I'm like, that's your sweet spot. She goes, but I can't meditate. I'm like, you're meditating when you do your art. So I'm like, that's what you're doing. So, and everybody's different, you know, not everybody has to own within the lotus position, because let's face it, I don't do that.
No, I don't do that either.
No, it just comes natural. It becomes like a conversation with yourself, with your team, with whatever. And it's beautiful. Just like, okay, so the solstice hit here at like 5 a.m. And I said, okay, guys, alarm clock, wake me up when I need to be. So they woke me up like at 20 till the minute. And yeah, so it was just funny. I'm like, oh, you guys are really good. So I haven't been up that early in a while, even though my whole career I did, but it was just nice to prepare for that and to know that the whole world was doing the same thing. Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you, you know, they had all of this, these celebrations and stuff at Uluru. How are you very far from
yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I'm a couple of hours, I'm a 1 week train ride away and a couple of hours airplane trip away. So okay. No, I'm not near there, but you got to understand that, okay, everybody was focusing on Uluru. Yes, that's fine. But South Australia is the pinnacle of that.
You were saying that, yeah. And wherever that energy from Uluru flows, and it flows to the whole world, it was really cool because they have pictures of these inexplicable energies coming out. And it was really beautiful.
It's the indigenous history and culture, you know, it's the acceptance of an old ancient way. I'm in South Australia, so what did I feel? I felt the energies here were very calm, very still. It was beautiful. This is how I felt. So Uluru is kind of like the solar plexus, and then it just stems out to the rest of the country. But South Australia is very special too in regards to energy.
And you know, it's all flowing everywhere. All of the Stargates were open. It's, you know, it would have been great to be in the Great Pyramid or somewhere, whatever, but it's okay because we can now access that multidimensionally, all of us.
Plus every one of us were, you know, were where we should have been, right? So I was here in Adelaide. This is where I should have been. You know, if somebody was in Uluru, that's where they should have been. Or if they were, you know, you were all placed where you should have been placed. You get me? And so I feel that I feel that those who, you know, I can hear like some people going, oh, but it didn't happen for me, and I didn't feel this, and I didn't feel the firecrackers going, and I just this is for you, for many of those who are feeling this way. If you were quiet and just sat quietly with your cup of tea or just sitting on the grass, whatever you're doing, feeling very quiet and still, and feeling into the natural flow of the energy, you did exactly what you needed to do. Because
I think there's an expectation. There's an expectation that we're supposed to feel a certain way or do a certain thing. Maybe just sitting at home, and you know, most people are at home because there's not a whole lot going on. That's a good thing. We're like human acupuncture needles anchoring this energy, and it's coming both ways. And the Schumann resonance was off the chart, like at the time of solstice, was so awesome. it was a
And it's
beautiful
going to
thing.
keep going off the charts. And the other, yesterday, me and my tribe got together because we were asked to do so, and we did a meditation. But what I mean is we're conscious, we did our breathing and all that type of stuff, but we were my galactic connections took us into an Andromeda ship, and we were taken to Jupiter. It was just beautiful. Absolutely.
The conjunction.
But we went to the actual planet. Like in our meditation, we actually went to the planet, and we were actually standing in the ship looking out. It was just amazing. The whole universe was just in front of us. And then we headed to the planet, and we went through the eye. And as soon as we go through the eye, there was this city of lights. It was just beautiful. Absolutely. We had that experience. So that was my experience of the whole thing. And we were able to communicate with the life form there, the beings, the beautiful blue-skinned beings of Jupiter, and we were walking on the footpath. It looked like pavement, right? But every time we put our foot down, there was a light language code under our feet. Wow, so what happened? Glowed. It was beautiful, and so the idea of that was every time we stepped, we received a light code. And it came through our feet and entered our physical bodies. So then, so now when it's time for it to be activated and shared, it will happen. But it was just a beautiful experience. Like my Zorian was there, but I see through his eyes. So it was just quite an incredible journey. And my team had their own, they were part of the picture too, and we could hear them. And because I channel and stuff, I've learned that telepathically I'm pretty good at it. So
very good.
This is how you learn. You see, this is how you learn about what skills you got. You got to actually, you say, like your friend who was painting, she just started, probably intuitively picked up the brush and thought, oh yeah, let's see what happens, and then found out that she could draw a beautiful picture, right? So this is how we learn. This is how I learn. And yesterday, that's how I learned that telepathically I've expanded my ability, right? So everybody out there that's listening, just take it easy, be kind to yourself. If you're doing the work and you're unraveling your mud, you will create something beautiful, definitely.
Yeah, and I think what's really important too is again, when you first start channeling, you think you're making it up because it is so subtle, and you think you are making it up. Yeah. And it isn't. The more you do it, you realize, wow, this is really something. And just ask for feedback. Whether you're doing it for someone else or for yourself, ask for feedback. I know I always do. And it's, I always get the feedback that I need, because sometimes you're like, oh, I'm not going to tell them that, and that's exactly what they need to hear. And so I don't hesitate at all anymore. Or I used to hold back and say, oh, I'll tell them after the session. Whereas it's exactly what they need to hear. But we're channeling for ourselves too. That painting is channeling just as much as words, just as much as writing, just as much as music, just as much as being kind to somebody in a store that needs your help or something. That's all channeling. It's all, it's our greater being. We're not channeling other beings. They're part of us. They're all inside of us. They're all part of us. And, all these beings are attuning us. Well, really, everything comes through our higher self, our gatekeeper. And we're all one. We're all one. These are aspects of us, not separate. Again, we want to give our power away to this angel or that being or whatever, but really they're all part of us. We're part of them. We're all a big family. So it is us with us. And it's a beautiful thing.
It sounds a bit confusing, doesn't it? Like, I'm talking to the audience now, to some people there. It sounds a little confusing, doesn't it? But let me tell you, I agree with Laurie. What you're doing is you're actually speaking to your parts of you that you that was sleeping. See it that way, right? That you're in this big house and there's say 5 rooms, and each room has a part of you. So what you're doing is you're opening up the doors to parts of you that wants your attention. And your oversoul, like, this is what I've learned about the oversoul, is Archangel Gabriel is my oversoul.
Yeah.
He's my gatekeeper, right?
Mm.
Zorian is my divine masculine twin flame that I've embodied energetically. So from what I understand, that's going to manifest physically, because the way I'm being shown is, now, probably not everybody will agree with me, but that doesn't matter. So I know that to manifest your twin flame, you need to embody it first, because you need to love yourself enough to be able to look into the eyes of your twin flame, because he or she will trigger you. Will create some sort of movement in your energy and will trigger you. So what he's doing is helping me, which is me, right? Okay, so Zorian is me. He's he's teaching me how to love me, Katerina, as the human being. How to know that I'm cherished and that I'm capable of all the things that I want to do.
Yeah, because if we don't embody that, we're going to attract the wrong vibrations that we don't want in our life. If we don't really love ourselves, if we don't think that we're deserving of all the things that we say we want, then how can the universe bring it to us? It's all about frequencies and magnetics, and we can't do that unless we really embody that love. If we want this perfect love in our life, then it has to start at home. Remember that we're connected to all of these things. It's a remembering. It's like a coming home to all these.
And it feels really good. It feels like I always do this. Because it's me, right? What you're doing is you're falling in love with you, who you are.
All and you about are yourself. God. You are God. It's not a weird thing, guys. It's God is in every molecule of DNA. And so if you love God, if you love source, whatever you want to call the greater part, the creator of the universe, whatever you want to call it, it's in every molecule of your body. So that's a beautiful thing. There's nothing better and there's nothing higher than self-love. And if you cannot develop that, it's going to be difficult to manifest anything else. That's completely on a higher timeline.
Yeah, because whatever you're thinking, you're manifesting. That's how it works.
And it's very rapid right now, right?
Yes, it's very
There's no more like 3-year lag time before you see
No.
It's happening that day, if not.
I know. It's beautiful, right? Because, like, for example, 2 weeks ago, that 8 weeks, I did the crystal light bed healing for myself, right? Next thing I know, I put up on my vision board that I now own one. Well, I'm getting one delivered to me.
Sweet.
And, a friend of mine's given me a massage table she doesn't want. So it actually happens. So now I went through it. Now I have a business, as many of you know. So the first 3 years was me doing courses after courses, challenges after challenges, learning about how to manifest. Well, it doesn't. Why am I shaking my head? Because I discovered that you have to have the frequency of your energetic signature must match what you want.
Yes. And you can learn the mechanics of it from someone else, like how to market yourself or how to do this or how to do Reiki. You can do that, but that might not be your niche.
No, I didn't know I was going to have crystal light bed healing as part of my purpose. I had no clue. All I knew,
you didn't know about it. So how could you have thought to manifest it, right?
No, I mean, 16 weeks ago, I was just you know, Zorian said to me, you're going to have a doctor's overhaul in 8 weeks for a little while. I mean, that's all I got told. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how it was even going to manifest.
Mhm.
And then suddenly, you know, I got connected with somebody, and next thing I know, I've done 8 weeks of the healing, which I totally recommend you go and get it done. And now I'm getting it now. It's part of my business. You know, I've been initiated. CASA is initiating me because I can't go over there. But anyway, what am I trying to tell you is that don't lose hope. Don't always believe that there's always something outside of you that you are meant to have that your team doesn't want you to know straight away, because you won't work for it. You won't do the healing. You won't go and do this. You won't do all the things to manifest it, because the frequency needs to be.
Yeah, it's the difference between like your parents paying for school and then when you take a course and you pay for it. And there's a big difference as to how much you appreciate it when you're the one paying. When you're older and you're like, yeah, this is what I really want. Not like, oh, you must go to college and we're paying for you and you're 18. There's a big difference. So it's what you really want, and then it's worth more to you. Yeah, you can't know it all. We know you can't know what you don't know. There's no way to know what you don't know. And frequentially we will walk into where we're meant to be. There are many paths. There's not just one path. There are many ways to get there. So, you know, again, if you picture the labyrinth, we know where the end is. The end's in the middle. We all want to get to the middle of the labyrinth. There's many different roads to get there. And some are blind ends, and some will take you on the long route. Some is the direct route. And that's what's going on with all of us. You know, sometimes we want to take the scenic route. Sometimes we want to go down to the beach trajectory.
And sometimes we want to have a little break and go to the beach and hang there for a little while. But your guidance, but let me tell you, your guidance is patiently just walking with you.
Yeah.
And if it takes another year for you to achieve something, that they're right next to you, right? It will happen.
And again, you know, we're so time and goal oriented here, and it's time to just drop that. Just flow into it. What do you want? You know, things are manifesting so quickly. We forget what we want. We forget what brings us joy, and we're so goal driven that by the time we get there, we don't even want it. Maybe you can change, you know, what you think you want, because now you've grown out of that and you have a different path, but you think you have to finish something. Just go on and do what you want to do, and it will manifest. All the roads will be open. If it's something that really brings you joy, if it's something you really want more than anything, and you know that you deserve it. That's the big
Of course.
We don't think we deserve it.
Well, that's all about self-worth and self-love. You need to feel worthy of it. And if you don't feel worthy of it, something will come into your life to show you how you're not feeling worthy of it until you do get it, right? Now, yes, you can sit and write pages of what you would like to create in your life. But if you're not doing the work, if you're not dealing with yourself, if you're not having a cry and finding the courage and the determination to change things, then you may not even get it. That's the reality of it, because you're not doing the work. You got to do the work.
This is a really, really, really great time to be purging all that stuff that doesn't feel so good. Wow. Again, the Stargates are still open. This is an amazing time to be purging that stuff, and it feels like shit. But you know what? It's necessary. I mean, all of these soul fragments of ourselves from all the traumas in our lives, they want to come back. A lot of that, all these holes have been filled with yucky stuff and attachments, and you know, the stuff we're pulling out, AI gets in there, all sorts of stuff. Now is the time these fragments want to come back, because you need to be whole to walk into this future and easily get rid of these attachments when you vibrate higher than they do.
Yeah.
It's not a hard thing.
No, and go and find the means. If you resonate towards a healer who has a specific skill, trust that that's where your guidance wants you to go, because her connections will give you the ability to clean parts of you that you don't even know, because let me tell you, there's like 3 football fields of energy around us that, parts of us that we don't even know that we've got.
Right. And let's face it, maybe you want to learn it for yourself, to empower yourself, because we know that Western medicine has failed all of us. We know this. I was in the Western medicine for more than 3 decades of my life, and a lot of it has failed us. And it is time to step into the alternative and holistic methods. And this is going to be mainstream in the very, very near future, if not quicker than most of you would even believe possible. This is going to be coming out very soon. In the next year, you're going to see things that you cannot believe. You're going to see things revealed that you cannot believe. You're going to see exactly what has been being done when you think you're doing things for your health that you cannot believe. And then we're going to walk beyond it and take our power back to heal. Our bodies are the most amazing technology that exists. And we haven't let it do that. We haven't let our bodies, every time we have a symptom, let's take pills, let's do shots, let's have a surgery, let's do whatever. No, it's time to let your body heal. There's still a time and a place for that for some people. But a lot of us will be walking out and away from that model of chemicals and surgeries. And, again, I did surgery for over 30 years. There is a time and a place for some people, but we're going to be walking beyond all of that.
Sure.
If you heal out here, you're going to heal in the physical. And a lot of this is happening right now. We're healing ourselves just by asking for it, just by getting rid of some of the things holding us in these low vibrations that cause the dis-ease. And when you hold it for decades, you're going to have dis-ease at the very, very, very physical level, bones, joints, things that are very, very dense.
Sure. I actually, yesterday, me and my friend were talking about similar things, and the way I understand it is, if you resist your intuitive change, you will start to it will start to affect your emotional state of being. Then you'll get unhappy and depressed, which then affects the physical body, and then you will get sick. Yeah. Now, if you look at our world that we're in, what do? They try and separate you from your intuitive nature.
Absolutely. They drug children. They tell them they're autistic or whatever, ADD, whatever label they have this week. Vaccinations that are destroying these high functioning children, some of them coming in with 9 of their 12 strands of DNA activated. Amazing. They know exactly what they're doing. The deep state or cabal, whatever you want to call them, they know exactly what they're doing. They have very high technological abilities. And we're going to say no to that from now on. Mothers are learning.
They may have all this technology that we don't understand. And look, some of the technology would just blow your mind away, like literally. But what all these things don't have, they cannot duplicate the human free will.
No. And
that's what they're trying to do, you see. They're trying to duplicate the free will. You got to exercise your free will. This is why you're human. This is why we're human. This is the gift that God gave us, because outside of our planet, there are other places, yes, that have a certain level of free will, but we are the only ones that have total free will.
Yeah. Right now, we're the biggest game in the galaxy.
Yeah. And that's why they're trying to do all this, they try and duplicate the free will.
Yeah.
They try and duplicate our energies. Well, they can't. That's why the world is in a mess, because they can't do these things.
No. And we are a conglomeration of so many races from all across this universe. We have the widest range of emotions. We have the widest range of compassion. We have the widest range of abilities of all sorts, but we're just now going to start coming into that power that we had at the height of the golden age of Atlantis. We had it and we lost it. But now it's going to be, we're going to move beyond all of that cycling around and around of peaks and valleys. So
Well,
we're going to come into that again.
Sure. Well, not to yeah, so for us not to have that happen again, you just simply have to stand up, dust yourself, find your courage, find your strength, and decide that you are the one that makes the decisions as to who you allow in your space physically and energetically. Because remember, everything you do energetically manifests, whether it's good, bad, ugly, indifferent, big, small, little, whatever, you're manifesting it. So next time you feel that you might have a lack of something, know that your universe, okay, your eyes are going to show you what that means. So instead of doing that, think about, oh yeah, I think I can create a new business and help people with healing. And think about what that means for you. Feel it, embody it,
If it
taste
feels
it.
wonderful, then that's the way to go.
Yeah. If it feels like utter shit, then also look at that and find out why it feels like utter shit. What are you not listening to? What are you not doing? You know, it's.
Yeah. Is it your resistance, or is that just not the way? Because that's another thing going on right now with all these agendas to keep us from stepping into that power, with all these agendas to keep us in that state of unconsciousness. It can't work any longer. The light is too great. We're all waking up en masse. All these production and agendas about, this disease and that disease, we're all seeing through it. We're all seeing through it. We're all questioning the narrative. People are waking up in droves that you would never have thought these people would question it. And they are, because it is so in your face. What is happening now is simply a movie playing out. And it's to wake everybody up so that we can all stand together, so that it can't happen again. Because if we all stand together, it cannot happen again. If only a couple people wake up, it's gonna happen again. And we don't want to do that. We want to get off this track. We want to go up to the next level, where the pendulum doesn't swing so much. But yeah, we're waking up, and it just in droves, with the political situation, with the health condition situation, with the mandated this and that, with the lockdowns, with all of this. We're all waking up, because this is meant to wake us all up. Anything that the dark throws at us, we are using to our advantage. So don't be afraid that bad things are going to manifest, that the negative timeline is going to manifest, because it isn't. We have to go along this track for a little while to wake a few more people up. This is not easy, what's going on worldwide. We are throwing off the tyranny. We're waking up. We're ripping off the blindfolds. And it's going to be painful for some people. Some of us have known about it for a long time. But it's ugly down there. It's very, very ugly, but we're going to alchemize it all into light.
Well, the planet, 2021, we are entering the dark night of the soul with the planet, that we are entering that. What that means is simply that there's another wave coming through that will awaken more people. It happens in little sections. It can't just happen all at once, because well, yeah, why can't it? Well, it just can't. It's just universal law. It just can't do it all at once. There has to be some people that have already done it to show others how they did it. So that's what I always talk about. However, yes, the, planet Earth the 3D is coming into the dark night of the soul. So what I'm all about is look at yourself personally, micro version it. You can't control what's happening outside of you, but you can control what's going on within yourself and how you respond and all that stuff. But this process needs to happen, because you got to wake up people. How do you wake up the human race? You got to have a dark night of the soul. Yeah.
And I mean, we've been going collectively through it. Some people more than others, because some haven't awoken from this dream spell yet. And maybe we don't have to, again, I've asked, my guides, does this have to happen, the third wave of this crap? And they have it planned, but it doesn't need to manifest. Right now, the timeline trajectory we're on is it doesn't have to manifest. It's all going to depend on really what happens here in this country And then that's going to spread through the world because this is the nexus point. And we should, a lot's happening. That's really going to wake people up when it comes out. I think it's going to be very fast, very like one fell swoop. A lot of things are going to happen. We're going to have another mass wave awakening. You're going to have a lot of people standing together. We're all going to realize we're united as one. We're not separate states, separate countries, separate races, separate gender, whatever. We're all one. And we're starting to see that here. I know that other countries are seeing it too. So, I was told we were on the most direct trajectory towards this mass awakening. So yes, of course it's on the agenda. They have agendas planned for the next 100 years. That doesn't mean they have to manifest. So if we all wake up, if we all just hold our light, and Starseeds are doing so great. We're holding this incredibly high vibration. And it's so awesome. No matter what happens, we get it now. And like you were saying, you had such a sense of peace. When you have that sense of peace, no matter what is happening, now you know you're in 5D. Now you know. And we're all holding that. We're holding it. It's a beautiful thing. So never ever
go within and no, you're all doing a great job. Like seriously, you every time you question yourself and change it, you're shifting the planet. Just know that every time. That's how you do it.
And we know, when you're in that zone, and if you fall out, that's okay. That's human. Stuff's going to happen. Just remember, you always have the power to shift whatever is happening around you. I had a friend of mine the other day that's been having a tough time at where she works because no one gets it. And people are nasty. And, I asked her, have you done this? No. Have you done this? No. She knows how to do all that. And I'm like, this is the time. It's like, okay, don't wallow in it for too long. No. Don't wallow in it for too long. And then get out of it as quick as you can, because it's more fun up here in the peaceful place.
That's right. And the idea is this is how I, once again, interpret it. Like, you're in your mud, you do what you have to do, then you're able to release yourself and come to the edge, can't walk out of it, and you're standing there. So it's like you've become like Teflon, so all that yuckiness in your life just falls off.
Yeah.
And then it goes back into earth, and it transmutes into a higher vibration with Mother Earth, right? If you can see it that way, then it becomes easier for you.
Kind of like the sea creatures evolving onto the land. We're becoming amphibious.
Like I didn't even think of it like that, but yes.
We've been all in this cosmic soup of yuck, and it turned into a swamp, and it is a swamp, and we're draining the swamp. So we have to get up out of the swamp and onto the dry land. Oh, look at what it's like here. It isn't all murky. That's kind of like 5D. So
5D is like with anything that we do and anything that we read, it's just best to stay quiet and listen to your inner voice, which is the quietness, the quiet no, the quiet yes, the movement with your energy. That like with me, right, what I do now every morning is I just, while I'm waiting for my kettle to go, to give me hot water, I always say, Gabriel, I surrender today to my flow. And I just, I'm learning to allow myself to, I trust my team, because when we talk about spiritual guidance and everything, that's all you, right? But what you're doing is you're learning to trust yourself, to know that they have your back. And for the first time in my entire 55 years, I totally understand now that my team have my back, and that's 5D.
Yeah, and it's a team project. We're the foot soldiers. We're the ground team. We're down here. We drop down here. We forget all of our divine plans for our life, and they're here to help guide us for what we had planned. We're a team. Yes, they do serve us, absolutely. Because we're part of a team, and we've got the difficult mission down here. And I tease my guides. I'm like, how about next time I stay up there and you come down here? They think it's hilarious. I'm like, I'm not laughing. So,
I've had those
not laughing at all.
too.
So,
yeah, I've had those conversations too, but I got to say, I don't have those anymore. I don't have that conversation anymore because I know I'm very supported. And that's the difference, right? Once you know and understand that you are loved and supported, you won't want to fight. What you will want to do is create a lot more to manifest, because you understand that the energy of manifestation is quickly, as we're saying, right?
Manifest your happiness. Yes. I mean, gosh, get out of that horrible relationship. Don't worry that you don't have enough money. It'll come. It'll come. And I'm not saying just quit your job and go drive out in a field and sit there in a tinfoil hat. I'm not saying that. But follow your joy. If you're miserable, how many relationships aren't making it through this year? A lot of them. And it's for the greater good. It's for the greater good. So that you can manifest the people to you that will help you on your journey, that will walk with you and not obstruct you. And that's perfect.
And that's a challenge, right? Now, I want to tell some of you that, yes, it is a challenge. And, sometimes it's like, what am I feeling right now? It's like, it's really hard or it's really difficult. Yes, I agree with you. It is difficult. It is challenging. Yes, you are going to cry. Yes, you are going to get frustrated and all those things. But let me tell you, you're on the path to change it. That's why you're feeling these things. If you weren't on the path to change it, you wouldn't be having that experience.
No, you're feeling the divine discontent when it's time to move. Everything inside you makes you very uncomfortable. If you were all comfy and cozy in your little boring life, then you wouldn't need to move, right? But when you're uncomfortable, now you got to shift, and that's where you need to go. Just follow that. You're not a bad person because a relationship isn't working out. You're not a bad person because all of a sudden you can't bear to be at the job that you're in because you're meant to do something else. You're not a bad person because you want to move to another state or whatever. Just follow the inner guidance and start to trust it. So important.
Yeah. If you start journaling or recording what your thoughts and your feelings, you'll start to hear the 3D version of you trying to limit you, trying to convince you that you can't do something. And that's the awakening. Is, you see, the awakening is simply you listening and acknowledging and hearing the 3D version of you that's trying to keep you stuck. And the awakening is saying, no, not anymore. That's the awakening. Not anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm deciding that I'm going to move away from here, and I'm going to do my best to create what I need. But the best thing is that I trust my process. Now, it's taken me 50 odd years to learn that process. Like, please don't think that this all happened overnight, because it didn't. And that's the other thing that everybody has to understand. The person next to you may not say a lot, may be quiet, may not be telling you everything, but they're doing it. They're doing it their way. You don't need to go and put a post on Facebook every day to let people know what you're doing. For example,
what you had for dinner that day. Yeah. Like Wiltara is always saying, the martyred servitude paradigm is over. Oh, I can't do that. What would they do without me? How will they survive? Oh, they'll be you are your problem. You are your main focus. No more martyred servitude. I love that, because really it's like we live for everybody else, and it's not serving anybody, because we're doing it because we feel we have to, not because we want to. When you're full, you just overflow with that love and kindness. And that's another thing, the solstice opening up the heart chakra. You just want to be kind to people and give love. And right now, there's a lot of people not accepting of it. Their hearts are closed. They're afraid of contact, but they can still have love virtually. But if you can do it in person, even better. I think it's really important at this time of year. A lot of people are going to be alone, maybe for the first time for the holidays. And it's a big thing, especially for a lot of older people, people that live in nursing homes or whatever. And I know my aunt has a son that's around my age, that has been in a home for a very long time. He was born with a neurological disorder, and she hasn't been able to see him for months.
Oh.
And it's very difficult for her. I don't know how he's handling it, because I haven't seen him in a long time either. But there's a lot of people like that they really need our love. Whether if we can do it virtually, great. And we hope for a resolution as soon as possible. Again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. The white hats, the light forces, the Earth Alliance, they're using everything the dark throws at us for good. So if there's a lockdown, sometimes it's in our greater good. So instead of saying, oh, we pray for the end of a lockdown, how about we pray for the highest good for all beings? Because at this point, we don't know what's going on beneath those lockdowns. There are some places where we're finding out that where holy hell is raining down, there's a reason, because that's a hotbed of exactly what they're trying to clean up. The state of Georgia being one of those places.
Well, there's always a blessing in disguise in every muddy situation, because it may not feel or see according to what you want, but the bigger picture, yes, there's probably something going on that the lockdown is to keep you safe from something.
Not what they tell you, but something.
Yeah, I mean, there's also, like we talk about galactic beings and stuff like that, right? Now, the reptilians are walking the planet right now, causing so much havoc. I mean, I did a psychic fair the other day, and I got to tell you, they love those places.
Oh, sure. Those are hotbeds for that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah. So, I'm sitting there watching all this, and it's very interesting. So my point is, sometimes you need to sit quietly at home, look within and do your inner work, because there's something going on outside that you don't know anything about. And there's a lot happening in the background in regards to the galactics and humans. There's a lot of things like, I can't talk a lot about that stuff because of my obligations and stuff. Anyway, what I want you to know is that sometimes a lockdown is to keep you safe. Because now, I had this vision the other day that I would like to share with you. Zorian, as I've said, is my galactic self. So during the healing bed, I saw through his eyes, and he took me into this huge warehouse. So it looked like a huge warehouse. Imagine a warehouse. And it has like workbenches, okay? Now, there were many species of different life forms in this warehouse, all working together at these benches. And what they were doing was they were creating light code boxes, okay? That's how I saw them, like boxes. So it's full of light codes, full of love, full of, all those things in a box, right? So what's happening is, I was shown and told that because a lot of the world is waking up and everyone's doing the inner work and getting rid of all the negative stuff and all that type of thing, what happens, it creates holes in the consciousness of humanity. So these boxes are being made to fill up those holes with positive energy, right? Can you just imagine? Can you imagine what I'm trying to say? Yes. And
absolutely. It's funny because Robert had a dream that was kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but what they said to me was, we're overworked. We don't have enough man on board to create these boxes, because you're all doing such a great job and you're all creating holes in the human consciousness. So
all the popcorn kernels are popping. We're all popping.
Yes. So what I understand about that is that if you're suddenly feeling really tired and you just suddenly feel like you can't do a lot because you wake up feeling that you've just done another 12 hours, let me tell you, you've probably put your hand up to work in these warehouses on the benches to fill these boxes with love, so you can help the galaxy fill the holes of the when you pull out that negative energy, you're refilling it with those boxes. Okay, I hope you're all with me on that. So if you're waking up feeling like that, know that you're working, that you're helping create boxes of love.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because there can't be a void, because what's going to come in, voids are going to be filled, and we don't want the dark attachments to have a little niche to go into.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
yeah.
Because they use these holes, because the Dark Alliance use these holes to come into the consciousness of humanity. They don't, because they don't want to wait to be born. Do you understand? So they.
Yeah.
So, keep going. Yes, sure. So what we're doing is we're creating little holes in our consciousness, but the galaxy needs our help to create boxes of love. So while you're sitting there, imagine that you're filling a box with courage and strength and, love, and what can you offer humanity? Because Archangel Michael always asks me, what are you offering today? And I always say love and support, or kindness, and that just simply means me being kind to myself, and that's what I'm offering, right? So if you can try and view it that way, you're going to help the universe fill up more boxes, and then we will be able to create a really nice timeline.
Yeah. And again, we're on that trajectory towards, maybe we don't need this third wave of bullshit. But again, even from above, no one knows what the next move on the chessboard is going to be, because this is the labyrinth. We can get there many different ways. So yeah, it's all good. We're all working real hard, whether you know it or not. Energetically, we're all working real hard. And yeah, we're filling in the holes with love. Again, whenever there's soul fragments that you haven't attended to, that's when the attachments come in. That's when the dark things can come in. You need to fill them with light. You need to alchemize all those traumas. Even if you don't know what they are, ask for assistance. Ask for assistance. Set your intention that all of these soul fragments come back, and that you welcome them with love, and you remember your wholeness that you once had. Some people have lost a lot of that as children. We're going to see a lot of that coming out in society as more and more children are rescued from these horrendous situations. There could be millions of them. We will find out when we find out. But we know that there's a lot, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, and they're going to need our love. They're going to need our support. These amazing souls that did this to wake us up and unite us as one. We're united as a people behind children, because really, you want to mess with children and animals, now you've got everyone's attention. If you want to mess with adults, not everybody wakes up with that. But
no, that's true.
But this is it's beautiful, exciting time to be alive. Don't be discouraged. I feel so grateful that I'm here on Starship Earth during all of this shift and change and insanity and gloriousness. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And it's lovely to know, to have that peace, and to know that everything is rolling out the way that it is meant to. We don't know every twist and turn. Any good movie, you wouldn't. But I have a sneaking suspicion we're getting to the real good parts.
Oh yeah, I think we're get your popcorn out, ladies and gentlemen. Get your comfy seat, because the show is just about to start.
Oh yeah, it's so amazing, and I love it. And
it's beautiful, yes, because feel how you're being supported. Feel the tingles around your hands, around your face. Look at your friend and smile at them. Be grateful for the people that you have around you. Look in the mirror, like people, you might say, oh, how can I help somebody, feel better about themselves? Well, look in the mirror and smile at yourself, and be grateful that you are living in this time of change, because you're going to be in the history books.
Absolutely. This will be talked about for thousands and thousands of years in the real history books, when we rewrite them as the way they were meant to be. No more illusion, no more BS, no more hiding in the shadows. We are meant to take our place on center stage in the universe the way we always were meant to be. And this is a glorious time. So don't think that you're doing anything wrong. Don't think you're behind the curve. Don't fear being mandated to do something. You know what? It's all going to work out the way it's supposed to be. I think there's going to be a very interesting twist to these quote unquote shots that are being rolled out. I think you're going to see that they're not what you think they are. And they have already proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that there are very, very, very bad things in there. They've actually isolated HIV strands within those shots. And so they have not been rolled out the way that we think they have. They have been confiscated. So we have that going on. So don't worry. They're not going to be everywhere because they're going to be proven that they were fraudulent, like a lot of other things. So yeah. Good stuff, baby. Good stuff. Always so good to talk to you. And
I really enjoy these conversations, and thanks for everybody who watches and listens and laughs with us and who nods their head going, oh yeah, right, yeah. And even those who sit there and go, oh no, I don't like that. Even you, thank you very much for listening to us. I'm very grateful to be able to sit with Laurie and have this conversation, because remember, we are just sharing with you our interpretation of our own ascension process and how it affects us. So what's your story? How are you helping somebody understand their story? What are you doing to be an example of your sunshine? You are your story, your book. Write it.
And we'd love to hear how, I hear a lot of people's stories all day long. And I love it. It's great that everybody's shifting, but yeah, feel free. Let us know how you're doing it. Maybe you've got some great ideas for other people. It's a unique process, but yet how cool is it that we can all be on together? And, we have this technology of Zoom that we're, on the opposite sides of the globe, opposite timelines. It's your morning, it's my evening, the day before. Yeah. And here we are talking to people, your people, my people, random people that know neither of us. So it's beautiful that we can all connect this way. And again, this is getting us ready for the time when we don't need the internet, when we don't need any of this technology, because we are connected heart to heart and mind to mind.
Sure, but we'll always need to see each other. That's
absolutely
what it's all about, right?
So come together whenever you can with those of like-minded hearts. The holidays are coming. It is a difficult time for a lot of people, especially when you are thrown into a situation with people who haven't moved in 10 years, haven't evolved, and you're all the way on the different part of the planet compared to them. And they can't hear you, they can't see you, and it makes you feel really yucky. And you think there's something wrong with you and you're not being compassionate or loving. You're going to have to just stand aside. Don't drop down to their vibration. You will get sick if you do that. Your body can't go down like that. That's why a lot of people get sick at the holidays, is because they are trying to retrograde into a lower vibe that their body says, we're not doing that. This is what happens when you try. So again, keep your vibe high however you can. Make sure you take time for yourself. Make sure you don't overdo it. A lot of people will be alone. You can connect with your family of light on the internet. If anyone ever needs anything, you know where to find me. And I think it's important we come together whenever we can in person. I see a lot of people getting very comfortable in their technology only. Like you were saying, it's important to come together. I see a lot of people getting very comfortable and, let's Zoom it. Let's not have it in person. And then there's a lot of people that no, they would rather be in person. They want physical contact. And
I'd like to come to your house for a cup of coffee, but I'm not able to, right? That's the reality of it. But hey, look at we're on the internet, and we're in the same Zoom room, and we're talking to each other. So we're basically, I am in your kitchen having a cup of coffee with you, right? So that's okay. But at the end of the day, what Laurie and I have always wanted to do was just come together and talk about our experiences and our know-how and what we're doing, just to let you all know that you're not alone, that we're all experiencing similar things on the earthly plane as human beings, and And, you know, if there's some of you that wish to come on the Zoom call and have a group discussion, why not?
Yeah. Or we could do a live or something like that. We could do a live one, and again, you know, anything you guys want. We are.
Yeah. It's just that, you know, I can't get on an airplane and come to America.
Well, when we can teleport, it'll be easier. I'll meet Egypt at Luxor Temple.
Yeah, of course. You know, we can do all that. But anyway, so I'm very grateful and thankful. Please let us know down in the comments in the YouTube channel, you know, how did these help you? How did these make you feel? What kind of things would you like us to talk about? You know, all that stuff.
Yeah, and subscribe to my channel, Crystal Earth Magic, if you aren't already. And
yes, and then you know, if you're on Facebook, come and visit Be Your True Self Katerina. Come and visit me on my page. Look at my lives. You know, learn something from me. Yeah,
it's so nice to connect with everybody, and again, it's wonderful to share the journey with so many amazing, beautiful souls. And again, it feels like we are all together. So we really appreciate it. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, happy whatever you celebrate, a Happy Solstice, which we just had, and just stay in your power during the holidays. Do something for you every day. Be joyful. Nothing is worth your peace, giving up your peace of mind. Do something for you every day, whether it's a meditation, a walk, whatever. Don't get sucked into the craziness of Christmases past.
No.
This is Christmas now.
Sure, yes. And Merry Christmas, everybody. And may the stars shine brightly at night on your path so you can walk with ease and grace.
Absolutely.
And may the light show you how beautiful you truly are.
Yeah, the Christmas star shines on all of us, whether we can see it or not. It was cloudy here, but it shines upon all of us, and we are ushering in a brand new era. It's going to be gorgeous, and thank you for sharing.
Beautiful.
We love you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye.
Bye. There, I had to find the button.
You're still recording, Dawn.
Trying. There.